ladies and gentlemen. Once again, watching Astro Terror TV. Pardon me. I'm proud to be your one and only host, the Astro Guru, and I like to welcome all God's children. This is a serious subject. Okay, now, I will be playing devil's advocate for the remaining segment, but here we have Black women as a unit, as a collective, as general population has been advertised as of late in some places, YouTube being one of them. The Black woman says she is the most unprotected person in America. Most unprotected demographic. And I'm not here to argue that. This is not about opinion. This is not about what some believe to be fact. This is not about anyone's individual experience. So I'll continue. Here you have the Black woman professing she is the most unprotected woman. The most unprotected demographic in America. And as a Black man myself, we as a whole feel the need to fill the spot of protector and provider. So, do we have a solution to Black women being the most unprotected as of this time? No. But we have addressed the issue and we see whom the solution should maybe come from, whose responsibility the solution may fall on, which is the Black man be more protective. So, aside from relationships, as a Black man, we have daughters, mothers, cousins, aunts, sisters. So, there is very much interest in, for this movie, there's a whole lot of interest on both sides in protecting the Black woman. So, now, we have a situation where a young woman gets into a confrontation with a Black male in which she had been having relations, and with her boyfriend, in which obviously they would have been having relations. So she is what you would say, I guess, on both sides of the fence. She's over here, she's having her cake and eating it too, in which this is not a shocker. This is done in many relationships by both parties, both men and women. Cheating is a thing to be addressed in the Black community. But aside from the cheating, a situation takes place, and this young woman decides to call her, boyfriend. A situation happens with the side guy, and she calls her boyfriend, or a situation happens with her boyfriend, and she calls the side guy. I'm not exactly sure how it went. To tell you the truth, you can even interject in the situation as if the female has an altercation with her boyfriend and calls her brother. So, in the time of protection, where a Black woman has now called for someone to come to her rescue, and she's called a Black man, what is he supposed to do? Or what is the protector supposed to do? Do you pull up and, act a donkey, put hands on the man? Do you take what she says at face value with no background check? Do you address the situation maturely and possibly risk your life due to the heatedness witness of the situation and you being called to protect, and in one's mind's eye, protection does push the envelope when it comes to physical harm. So it's like we call for a problem to be handled. That means peace is not being had at the time. So if the situation is opposite of peaceful, it could possibly be warlike. And the only reason I'm asking what is he supposed to do, because in there's very many situations where this is taking place, but in a situation like this where one black man may lose his life due to trying to protect himself and or lose his freedom due to protecting himself, in a situation where another black man may lose his life and or his freedom from protecting a black woman. Once your freedom or your life has been taken from you as a black man, you lose all value to the world, even in your own eyes. You don't produce the same way. You can't, you're hindered in the realm of life and reality. So, with these things already being known and understood, placing oneself in these situations increasingly is definitely not beneficial to, this is definitely not beneficial to black excellence. And the only reason I bring this situation up, or this conversation up, is because it's like, it's almost like a catch-22 where you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Here you are being down, degraded, and demeaned as a man for your lack of protection. But what you're trying to protect, or what you assume the responsibility of protecting, does not want protection. Its actions don't represent that it needs protection, because it's standing on business. Who gonna check you? And you wish somebody would. So the attitude, it beckons for trouble, yet the reality of life is anytime a problem is had, you want someone to protect you. And even if that was, just all well, fine, and dandy, it's who's going to protect me in a situation. So, as a black man, when we're done printing up t-shirts and we're done having, candle lights and visuals, and when we're done paying memorials, do you really ever just sit down and think that a lot of these black men are taking each other's lives due to altercations and due to situations and confrontations that stem from interactions with the female species? With black women that we, if not at the time, at one point in time, loved and were laid down and trust with our energy, our soul, and our secrets, and share those intimate moments and things. No matter how much we downplay them as a community, time spent, especially quality, is time had, it's time cherished, it's memories. So, as long as we're at war with each other, we'll never find a solution to our full potential, or at least reaching it as a unit. But I just wanted to give you that. I was just wondering. We're not placing any blame here. I'm not saying, me, we gotta do better, although I'm not saying, well, we gotta do better, although you guys are doing a great job. I'm just simply asking the question here. What is a young man who's not in control of his mind and his emotions or his trajectory in life, and who's pretty much almost unsure of everything because that's what the world teaches him to be and tells him to be until he overcomes it and steps into manhood, has the confidence to make his own decisions and deal with the consequences and reap the rewards and benefits and handle life as such. What is he supposed to do when he's making a snap decision that could possibly be devastating, and the one he winds up sacrificing in most cases is himself. I don't know. Think on that and get back to me. Don't be afraid to comment. You gonna have to put your hands on me?